One of the most famous Soviet all-terrain vehicles was restored and sent to the museum. It was specially designed for the rescue of astronauts. These floating machines were supposed to find and rescue astronauts wherever the spacecraft landed, in impenetrable snow, impassable swamp, or on the water surface. The all-terrain vehicle was named Bluebird. It was decommissioned, but then it was restored by specialists from a company called Mechanical Assembly Shop No. 6. It is based on the territory of the now closed Lithuchev plant, ZIL for short. This plant was located in Moscow. This is the same plant where the Bluebird all-terrain vehicles were developed and produced. The first prototypes of the Bluebird all-terrain vehicles were built by the ZIL Special Design Bureau in 1975. The restored Bluebird is one of 3 vehicles included in the search and evacuation complex to search for spacecraft and rescue their crews. Specifically, this model was a passenger one. It was intended to transport astronauts after they landed. In addition to this model, the complex included 2 more all-terrain vehicles similar in design, but not passenger, but cargo. They were a platform with a loading device. One of these all-terrain vehicles was supposed to load the landed descent vehicle of the spacecraft. Another all-terrain vehicle was intended for transportation on its platform of a special all-terrain vehicle with a screw propeller. This small all-terrain vehicle was necessary if it was necessary to get to the descent vehicle, which landed in a swamp or deep snow that was impassable for a conventional wheeled all-terrain vehicle. Such a rotary all-terrain vehicle knew no obstacles and could move on absolutely any terrain. Where did the name Bluebird come from? The fact is that search and rescue all-terrain vehicles were painted blue, equally well visible in the green forest, and on white snow, and in yellow sands and on brown stone pulsars. The body of the all-terrain vehicle Bluebird was a lightweight aluminum frame with a sealed fiberglass body attached to it. In order to ensure maximum tightness of the driver's cab, she did not have the usual doors like the cabs of other cars. Entry and exit is through 2 hatches in the roof. The engine from the serial truck ZIL 130 with a capacity of 150 horsepower is located behind the cab. The designers abandoned the use of a complex automatic hydro-mechanical transmission in favor of a manual transmission. The Bluebird all-terrain vehicle had an onboard transmission scheme, which was a transfer case with a differential that distributed torque between 2 separate transmissions. Each of them was for the wheels of only one side. High ground clearance was provided through the use of onboard wheel reduction gears. At first, the designers were going to use independent suspension only for the first and last axles, but then they decided to use a fully independent suspension, that is, for all 3 axles. Torsion bars were used in its design. At the Bluebird, the first 2 and last 2 wheels are made steerable. To improve handling, a hydrostatic mechanism for delaying the rotation of the rear wheels is provided. To increase the speed afloat, which could reach 8 km per hour, instead of water cannons, the all-terrain vehicle received propellers driven by a transfer case. The maximum speed on land was 75 km per hour. At the rear of the all-terrain vehicle is the passenger compartment. The door to enter it is made from the end of the body. Inside, it is spacious enough to accommodate a crew of astronauts of 3 people and several more people to accompany them. As already mentioned, access to the cabin is through hatches in the roof. Outside, the cabin of the Bluebird does not seem very large, but inside it is quite spacious. The width of the cabin is such that it allows the driver and 2 passengers to comfortably accommodate. Torsion bars are used in the suspension of all wheels. Propellers were used instead of water cannons. All regular removable aluminum ladders were made hollow, so they do not sink if they suddenly find themselves in the water. The Bluebird is a unique all-terrain vehicle. During production from 1980 to 1991, 26 such all-terrain vehicles were made, 14 passenger and 12 freight. also produced 5 auger all-terrain vehicles. The restored copy is doubly unique. It is a modernized version of the late 1980s, built in 1 or 2 copies, no one remembers exactly now. The main distinguishing feature of this Bluebird is a wider body. Today, the restored Bluebird is on display at the Likhachev Plant Museum, located in Moscow near Sokolniki Park.